When it comes to appearance, how often have you seen someone cross seemingly impossible boundaries? That's right, we live in an era where the obsession with the perfect body leads people to make choices that defy common sense. From dangerous injections to extreme cosmetic surgeries, some resort to methods so radical they seem like something out of a movie. And what about the influencers who swear they found the magic formula for physical transformation, at a price that few can afford or are willing to pay? In this world of appearances, there lies a realm of promises and disappointments, where not everything that glitters is gold. Whether you're curious to understand these bold choices or someone who has considered transforming your own image, here we'll explore the most controversial and impactful journeys toward the ideal appearance. Let's uncover just how far the desire for change can lead and what lies behind bodies that appear flawless but hide stories of sacrifice and, often, pain. Get ready for a journey that will challenge your perceptions and perhaps even make you rethink what's truly worthwhile. Imagine this. Some people resort to using substances like synthol, a mix of oil, painkillers, and even alcohol to create that muscle volume many dream of showing off. But what they don't realize is that this magic comes at a cost. These muscles, which aren't really muscles, only deceive the eye and often require complex surgeries for removal, or something even more serious. It's the kind of shortcut that feels more like a trap, one that catches people by surprise down the line when it's already too late to avoid the damage. These extreme practices for achieving a perfect look, such as the use of steroids or even industrial silicone, may seem harmless at first glance. It's a bit like that saying, letting the shine overshadow common sense. But over time, the body starts to show signs: infections, chronic pain, and even permanent deformities. For those looking for real results, it's worth remembering that health is the foundation, and shortcuts can cost far more than investing in consistent training and balanced nutrition. There are other ways to achieve a strong and natural physique, like training with dedication and adjusting exercise routines. When it comes to appearance, there's always that temptation to look for quick and miraculous solutions. However, resorting to magic formulas often ends up being the least reliable, not to mention dangerous, path. One example is Romario, a bodybuilder who faced a severe situation due to these injections. The consequences were severe, requiring long-term treatment. For those seeking solid results, these risky methods can be swapped for safe practices, like including protein-rich foods in their diet, which truly support muscle growth. After all, nothing is better than achieving something genuine, knowing it was done with effort and persistence. Kanbaba, this intriguing character known for his superhuman strength, is one of those phenomena that gain fame almost as a myth. On his social media, he appears lifting immense weights and displaying a physical strength that seems to defy logic. But if we take a closer look, we soon realize there's something murky in this spectacle. Kanbaba himself has admitted that much of what he does is more of a performance than reality. Curious, right? It's what we call pure marketing, the fascination with the improbable. He teaches us something interesting. Sometimes, the image we create for the public can be more powerful than what we are in real life. Kanbaba built a persona, a symbol of strength, and whether we like it or not, that has its value. And the curious thing is that this same practice can be observed in other areas, such as fashion influencers or even in business, where what's sold is more of an idea than an exact reality. It's like he's saying, the myth can be a powerful tool. But how far is it worth taking this strategy? This contrast between public image and reality makes us reflect. To what extent do people accept and even admire a figure they know is partially fake? In Kanbaba's case, he found a formula that worked. The interesting thing is to think about how, by creating this character, he stands out among so many others. This approach is risky, no doubt, but it also opens up questions about what is or isn't authentic in the world of appearances. And so, we keep questioning where the boundary lies between the real and the invented. Liver King, also known as Brian Johnson, is a fascinating example of how the image of a modern warrior can hide very deep secrets. For years, he built his fame by claiming his strength and impressive physique came from an ancestral diet, raw meat, organs, bones, and an almost wild lifestyle. But then came the revelation. In addition to steaks, he was also using steroids, spending around $11,000 a month to maintain that imposing figure. Interesting, right? A true advertisement sold as something pure and natural. Liver King's case makes us reflect on how personal marketing and powerful words can convince millions. He not only gained followers but made them believe that simply following his diet would yield the same results. However, his exposure brings an important lesson. Not everything we see on social media is as simple or true as it seems. Those seeking solid results must understand that even the most popular methods don't always reveal the whole truth. If you're after true health, a good starting point is to focus on a balanced routine, free from excess or obscure secrets. Johnson's story also reveals how much social media amplifies promises of miraculous results. To outsiders, his success seemed like the result of a secret formula accessible to anyone. But the reality is that many of these icons use methods far more complex and costly than they admit. He's yet another example of how the fitness miracle culture captivates but rarely delivers what it promises. And while some dietary practices can genuinely make a difference, others reveal that what goes on behind the scenes is far from as ancestral as it seems. Now imagine spending a whopping $170,000 to gain a few inches in height. That's exactly what Moses decided to do, undergoing a delicate and painful leg lengthening procedure. This type of surgery, which literally involves breaking bones and adjusting them to grow, is one of the most extreme cosmetic procedures and requires lengthy recovery. However, this physical transformation also reveals how self-esteem issues can drive someone to face any obstacle. For Moses, it wasn't just about height, but about achieving the image he wanted to see in the mirror. Although this surgery is uncommon, it represents something very present in many people's lives: the relentless pursuit of self-acceptance. What Moses endured can be compared to someone deciding to modify their appearance, whether with industrial silicone, steroids, or drastic visual changes. At its core, this desire comes from something profound, something that goes beyond external appearance. For anyone who has struggled with insecurities, it's easy to understand the motivation that drives someone to make such radical choices, even if the cost is high. Moses' experience raises an interesting question. How far are we willing to go to be accepted by ourselves or others? The curious thing is that this quest often involves sacrifices that don't always deliver what we expect. And then, there's the reflection. Does changing on the outside really resolve what we feel inside? Many, like Moses, seek this answer in extreme ways. And thus, his story prepares us for other radical changes that emerge in the pursuit of an ideal version of themselves. Anastasia Pokryshuk, a Ukrainian model, is a living example of how appearance can become an ongoing project of transformation. Over the years, she's undergone a series of cosmetic procedures, filling her face with Botox and other products, aiming for a look she describes as exotic. This relentless pursuit of extreme beauty reflects how social media shapes not only behavior but the very image people want to reflect. And for Anastasia, the limit doesn't seem close. Each procedure is just another step on her visual journey. The impact of this type of change on mental health is a significant point to consider. When someone alters their appearance, they're not just transforming what they see in the mirror but also altering their perception of identity. It's a bit like sculpting a new version of oneself, but often with emotional consequences. And it's curious to observe that in social media, where so many aspire to a visual perfection, what we see is a filtered, adjusted reality. Anastasia is just one example of how this process can become almost addictive, especially when public recognition becomes part of self-image. This desire for external transformation reminds us how volatile and subjective the ideal of beauty can be. For some, this pursuit can be inspiring. For others, dangerous. Yet, as we observe Anastasia and many others seeking radical changes, the question arises: is this perfection truly what they're after? Or is there an attempt to fill something beyond the physical? This dive into profound transformations leads us to reflect on how far people are willing to go, paving the way for the risks that many take in the name of appearance. The dangers of using substances like synthol are, unfortunately, a reality for many who seek quick muscles without the effort of training and diet. Imagine a compound that mixes oil, painkillers, and alcohol, injected directly into muscle tissue to simulate the desired volume. Sounds surreal, but that's exactly what some do, despite all the risks. Romario, a bodybuilder famous for abusing synthol, faced a harsh consequence. Complications so severe they nearly led to amputation. It's a high price, all in the name of an appearance of muscles that aren't even real. These methods, though dangerous, still attract people worldwide, often without adequate knowledge of side effects. The use of industrial silicone or steroids to intensify muscles also falls into this risky cycle. Infections, inflammatory reactions, and even circulatory problems are common risks for those who misuse these products. The promise of a perfect body almost always comes with serious consequences. And for those who want safe results, the path lies in traditional health and wellness practices, like regular exercise and medical supervision. The reality is that for many, the short-term speaks louder, and quick results are tempting. But in time, the body demands its toll, and that's when the illusion of artificial muscles reveals its cruel side. It becomes clear that the true path to a healthy body is one that respects the natural rhythm. Romario's story and so many others make us consider how far we're willing to go to achieve an idealized appearance. And so, we conclude this series of radical choices, wondering what's truly worthwhile. After exploring so many transformation stories and the risks that come with them, there's a question. Is it really worth it? After all, the desire for change is legitimate, but does it have to come at the cost of one's health? These examples show just how high the price can be to meet beauty standards that, most of the time, are impossible to maintain. And now, I ask you, what transformation makes sense in your life? Which change truly adds to your well-being? And which is pure vanity? If you're looking for a true path, where health and self-esteem go hand in hand, start by making conscious choices that respect your body. What do you think about applying what you learned here? Maybe it's time to adopt habits that promote a strong and healthy image that's also natural and sustainable. This is the kind of journey that's worthwhile, where you not only transform physically but also strengthen what's inside. And, of course, to keep receiving more tips on how to improve genuinely, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. Let's move forward together in this quest for a fuller life, where every choice makes sense and respects what truly matters.